All right, welcome to USS Carter Hall, the Fighting 5-0. I'm Commander Matt Chellock, originally from Little Silver, New Jersey, and it's great to have you all on board virtually through this whole COVID-19 situation. USS Carter Hall is the second dock landing ship to bear the name Carter Hall. She's named after an estate near Winchester, Virginia, that was built in 1790. All right, now I'm going to pass you off to the remainder of my crew, who'll give you a virtual tour of the mighty ship Carter Hall.
Good morning, I'm Chief Petty Officer Lacey, currently serving in the Navy 15 years, and I'm here to give you a virtual tour of USS Carter Hall flight deck. Our flight deck is 170 feet long and 77 feet wide. We have 2 spots on the flight deck, and I'm going to go over the positions that make our flight deck a success. We have the flight deck officer, which is Chief Warrant Officer Brown. He's the overseer and overall in charge of the flight deck team. Next, we have our safety officer, which is myself. I make sure that the operations we do and the way we do it is safe. Our helo control officer coordinates the efforts between the bridge and the helo helicopter being landed. Next in position, then we have the LSD, which is the landing signalman enlisted. The landing signalman enlisted, he directs the pilot using these lineup lights and land him on this spot right here, spot 2 or spot 1. Next, we have the truck and chainmen. Upon direction from the LSD, they secure the aircraft when needed. Next is our crash and salvage team, who keeps stuff safe around here. In the event of a fire or any adverse casualty, they combat the fire and combat the casualty. I'm gonna pass it over to Chief Warrant Officer Brown, and he's gonna go over the type of missions and capabilities of the flight deck.
All right, good morning. I'm Chief Warrant Officer Ricky Brown. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I've been in the Navy 20 years in August. I will go over the different types of craft that we actually land on the flight deck. The UH-53 Sea Stallion, it's kind of big, it's used for troops transfer. We also land the SH-60 Seahawk. Its primary missions, they do SAR and PAX transfer also. We land the Osprey, which is the V-22. It's used to transfer packs from the ship to the actual beach. Also, with the flight deck, we do different jobs. If we have to take on stores for the ship while we're underway, we do what they call a vert rep, where the helo will go to the actual supply ship, hook up cargo nets, and they would land it on the actual flight deck itself on the spots that we designate for the landing. We just use for basically like a lily pad. Helo comes in, it lands. If we have to give it fuel, we'll give it fuel. If not, we just work on deck qualifications for the pilots. This is basically the job on the flight deck, what we do when we're actually deployed. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Lieutenant Courtney Brayman. I'm from Rochester, New York. I've been in the Navy 10 years, and I've been stationed on Carter Hall for 14 months. I'm the first lieutenant on board, which means I'm the deck department head. We've got roughly 75 sailors in the department, and we're responsible for running almost all of the underway evolutions. So we're standing right now on the boat deck, where we run small boat and crane evolutions. But deck department's also responsible for running all flight operations on the flight deck, all amphibious operations in the well deck, and all anchoring evolutions on the forecastle. You're going to learn a little bit more about the well deck and the flight deck when you get to those spots. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to deck department's leading Chief Petty Officer to talk about what we do here on the boat deck.
Good morning, I'm Chief Petty Officer Aaron Richards, and I've been in the Navy 19 years. I'm from upstate New York, and I'll be giving you a brief synopsis of all of the small boat evolutions and the crane operations on the boat deck. First off, we'll start with the LCPL, which is our ready lifeboat. So when we are underway, if we have a man overboard, we will put that boat in the water to go recover the man. As well as we have the 2 small rib boats that you can see behind me, which are rigid hull inflatable boats. And one is a 7-meter, and we use that for personnel transfers, going to pick up cargo, and we can also use it for visit, board, search, and seizure missions. And then on the outboard side of that is the 11-meter rib, which is used for the same purposes. It's just a bigger craft. It can handle heavier seas. And then also behind me, we have the 30-ton crane, which max capacity can lift lift 60,000 pounds, and then we use that to unload cargo, marine equipment, and stores for the ship.
Hello, I'm Gunnery Sergeant Arnold, the Combat Cargo Assistant for the USS Carter Hall. On November 10th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress authorized the formation of 2 battalions of Marines for the purpose of ship security and ship-to-ship fighting. 244 years later, we are still working closely hand in hand with the United States Naval Service to answer the call of our nation. Here in the VSA, or the Vehicle Storage Area, is the main compartment for equipment storage while Marines are on board. Here, we store a variety of equipment from the amphibious assault vehicles to tactical vehicles to logistics mechanized assets to support a variety of missions that our nation calls us to complete. As a combat cargo assistant on the ship, it is my job to assist the over 500 Marines that board the ship in basic daily functions such as taking care of the equipment, training, and planning to execute the variety of missions that we are called upon to complete.
Hi guys, again, I'm Chief Warrant Officer Brown, the ship's bosun. I know I talked to you earlier on the flight deck and went over the position on the flight deck. Now I'm going to talk about what we do in the well deck. All right, this is an LSD, which is a dock landing ship, and our main mission is to get Marines to the beach, take Marines to the beach by means of offloading with the different types of craft that we have that we take inside the well deck. There's 2 types of LSDs out there. You have the 41 class LSD and you have the 49 class LSDs. As far as us as being a 49 class, our well deck's a lot smaller. It's 184 feet long, 50 feet wide. The types of craft that we take on board this ship when we actually flood the well deck, we have a LCAC, which is a landing craft air cushion. We have LCU, a landing craft utility. With the LCAC, we could take 2 on board. We have 2 spots for 2 LCACs. For LCU, we only could take 1. Also, other vehicles that we take on board, we have what they call AAVs, assault amphibious vehicles. Those are things that we launch out of the well deck in order to get the Marines to the actual beach itself. To think of a transport dock ship, we're like a big Uber. So if you're familiar with an Uber driver, a car to take you where you want to go, we're like that as far as a Navy ship. We take the Marines where they need to go.
Hello, I'm FC1 Bradley Nunley on board USS Carter Hall. I've been in the Navy for 11 years. I'm originally from Dallas, Georgia. I'm going to talk to you about our air, and surface, and small caliber action team today. Behind me is our rolling airframe missile, which is RAM. It's got a range of 3 to 5 nautical miles. It houses 21 missiles inside of the launcher itself. We have 2 launchers on board. It's the first line of defense for air targets. Our second line of defense is a close-in weapon system, or CWIS. It is a 20mm machine gun. Shoots 4,500 rounds per minute in air and 3,000 rounds per minute in surface. It's dual capable, obviously in air and surface, for air defense and surface capabilities. It is the secondary hard kill in air defense, backed up from RAM. It's got a range of 1 nautical mile in air and 2 nautical miles in surface. And now we'll head down to another means of defense, the 25mm. Here we are at the 25mm. It is a primary surface search system. We have the main cannon with a max range of 4.1 nautical miles, a cyclic rate of fire of 175 rounds per minute. It can be shot from inside of the bridge, or it can be shot manually. All the weapons that we talked about today provide us 360-degree coverage in air defense and surface defense. Thank you for coming on board USS Carter Hall today to visit us. If you have any more questions in regards to any of the air or surface defense systems, please drop them in the comments below.
Hi, I'm QMC Ignacio Castaneda. I've been in the Navy for 12 years, and I'm originally from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to be kind of giving a little rundown on the bridge, along with QM1 Cohen, and with the watch standards. So kind of just a little basic rundown. We have the officer of the deck, you have the junior officer of the deck, the conning officer, along with numerous enlisted watchstanders. The officer of the deck is going to be the right-hand man or woman of the CO while we're underway. So everything goes through them. The junior officer of the deck is going to be the assistant to the officer of the deck, and they're going to answer bridge-to-bridge calls, phone calls, and just kind of gathering information for the officer of the deck. We also have the conning officer, and the conning officer is going to be the eyes of the ship, right? When it comes to driving. And now on to QM1.
Hi, I'm Quartermaster First Class Rebecca Cohen. I am from Casey, Illinois, and I have been in the Navy just a little over 10 years. I'll be talking about the Quartermaster of the Watch, the boatswain of the watch, and the operations specialist here on the pilot house. So the Quartermaster of the Watch keeps track of the location of the ship at all times underway on a chart, and to ensure that we get to our place safe and on time. The boatswain of the watch keeps track of all the enlisted personnel on the bridge, and they keep track of the ship's schedule by making announcements throughout the day. The operations specialist is a radar operator, and they assist the officer of the deck, keeping track of all ships in the area around us. And the lookouts, they are personnel stationed outside on the bridge wings, and they are basically the eyes and ears of the ship. If they see any other vessel or any noises, they have to notify the personnel inside the bridge so we can keep an eye and make sure we do not essentially run into them or get into an accident.
Well, again, hopefully you enjoyed your tour on board Carter Hall. If you can hear the noise behind me, you can hear some great work getting done on the ship. We are basic phase complete and are in the middle of our integrated training phase in preparation to deploy as part of the USS Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group. So again, it was great to have you. Have a fine Navy day.